Something every athletic trainer should always have on them is this. An athletic training kit. Athletic training kits come in many forms and sizes. You have some like this that are like fanny packs that you put around your waist. You have some that are like backpacks. You have some that are like sling bags. But what's important about these is not their size, their shape, or their form. It's what an athletic trainer carries inside of them. In today's video, I'm gonna be opening up this athletic training kit or fanny pack, and I'm just gonna be showing you guys what's inside of it and what are some things that athletic trainers carry with them. Hey guys, what's up? It's Danny. Mueller sent me this athletic training kit a really long time ago, and I'm not gonna lie, this video has been on hold for a while. For those of you that don't know, Mueller is one of the premier sports medicine athletic training brands. They have a bunch of kits, fanny packs, but they also have things like braces and just a bunch of other athletic training accessories that you can use. I'm gonna leave a link to Mueller down below in my description, so make sure you check them out. The first thing that we have in this kit are gloves. You might not really think about it because you're like, oh, you're an athletic trainer, like why do you need gloves? But you're dealing with sweat, you're dealing with blood, you're dealing with all these fluids. Gloves are pretty much the most basic form of PPE that you can have on you. Let's say an athlete goes down, if they're hurt, they're injured, you get closer to them, you start inspecting them and you notice blood. In order for you to like really touch them and do like a full eval, you need gloves. I'm gonna keep these on because the next thing that we have are bandages. Bandages are pretty much necessary for any small cuts, any small wounds. They just cover up anything that involves bleeding. Now, if there's a lot of bleeding or just a lot of messy stuff going on, that's when you would use a sterile gauze pad. You can open one up. I'm gonna do it right here in front of the camera so you guys don't think I'm faking it, but you open it up like this. You could clean up the wound, then you could get another one and just kind of like have them hold it against the wound. It really depends on the situation, but these are mainly for like bigger cuts, bigger wounds, something that a Band-Aid can't really cover. What I've seen is that you could start by using a gauze pad, kind of clean up the area, and then you could put a Band-Aid over it. Next thing here in the kit, which is really basic, is just nasal plugs. I took my gloves off, but again, anything that involves blood or bodily fluids, you need to use gloves. So let's say an athlete is bleeding through their nose. This happens pretty often. You just get these nasal plugs, and let's see if I could do it to myself. Oh, it feels kind of weird. But yeah, just to help stop the bleeding a little bit. All right, I'm gonna take these off. They're really annoying. Next thing we have here is Gauze Spray Plus by Mueller. This is just gonna help with infection and minor cuts, scrapes, and burns. They sell these in many different forms. I know this one is a spray. I'm gonna put it on me even though I don't really have a cup, but just so you guys can see it. Okay, there we go. So let's say if I had a cut right here in that area, you would use this just to kind of like clean it, make sure it doesn't get infected. You'd probably do this with a gauze pad. So just so you guys get the whole simulation right here in this video, if you see a little cut right there, you spray it, and then you get a gauze pad, obviously with gloves on, and you kind of just clean the area a little bit to prevent infection. Moving away from all this like blood stuff, we have this tape. Now, not every tape is the same, and every tape has its own purpose and can be used for different tape jobs or different preventative measures. Before applying tape, you apply pre-wrap, because if not, you would just have like the tape right on top of their skin and that would burn. It just wouldn't feel good. This right here is pre-wrap. It's really thin. You could use it to like contour any area of the body. It's really easy to apply. This right here is the most basic form of athletic tape. This is just your basic white 1.5 inch tape. You can use this to tape ankles, tape wrists, pretty much tape anything. Now this tape here is elastic, and the reason it's elastic is because, as you can see, it pulls like this. If I show you guys the other one I had earlier, this one, it really doesn't pull. You kind of just pull it to a certain length, but it kind of stays that length. This one though is a little bit more flexible. It's also more adhesive. You don't need to use the pre-wrap if you're gonna use this tape right here. Then we have another elastic tape just like this one. I think this one is 2 inch, but it's the same thing. It's just tape, but it's a little bit more flexible. And also this one, when you really tape well, it really restricts motion, and sometimes for an athlete, you don't want to restrict too much motion because they might have to create like a certain movement just for their game or their performance. So this one kind of allows more leeway while still offering the protection that you need. The next thing we have are our cutting tools. We have this blade and then we have a scissor. When you tape an athlete, removing tape is like really hard, especially when it's been there for a really long time. So how do you remove it? With this blade. The blade has a safety mechanism right here. That way when they're like removing and cutting out the tape, it doesn't like puncture their skin. If you want to get more extreme, you can also use a scissor to cut the tape. It's also really important though to have a scissor because let's say your athlete is injured, and for example in football, if you want to like, you know, get under their chest pads, you have to cut the jersey. So how do you cut the jersey? With scissors. The next thing we have is this ace wrap right here. Let me take out little things that come with it. But this right here is an ace wrap. If an athlete's shoulder starts hurting, if their thighs start hurting, you can do different types of spicas on the athlete. Obviously this one is a little bit smaller, but they have these in many sizes and many forms. Okay, the next thing is really cool. This is pretty much a coolant cold spray. This is like really common in soccer. When like a soccer player goes down, the athletic trainer like runs to the middle of the field, they take out the cap, and then they start, you know, just spraying the soccer player. I don't want it to be too cold because this could burn a little bit, but ooh, that kind of it feels nice. It feels nice. But as the name implies, this is just a cold spray. You can use this for cramps, for spasms. You could also put it over tendons and it can reduce tendon pain. It's just something really nice to keep in your kit. The next thing we have are a couple of creams. So first I'm gonna go with these. These are triple antibiotic creams. They're really small. They're obviously for like a one-time use. You just open it up like this and you apply it like this. So let's see. There we go. Let me kind of focus it so you guys can see this. If you're rubbing it like this on an athlete, you would obviously have gloves on. Similar to the spray, this is just used for minor cuts, for scrapes, for burning. So this can be used for a lot of different things. The next thing we have is this lubricating ointment. So you're probably like, what in the world is this lubricating ointment? You can use this for a bunch of things. If athletes have to wear a certain piece of equipment, whether it's for performance or for protection, but that piece of equipment like always rubs against their skin like this, and it like causes a lot of friction and it like bothers them a lot, what you can do is put this on the skin before they put on like that piece of equipment, and then put on that equipment, and it's just gonna feel like a lot nicer with this ointment on. Now some other things that I don't have in this kit but that I have seen athletic trainers carry are medicine. Depending on the setting, athletic trainers carry over the counters with them. That way if an athlete needs medicine on the field, the athletic trainer can just take it out from their kit and give it to them. Now something else that I don't have on me but that I have seen athletic trainers carry all the time are inhalers. If an athlete has asthma, it is the athletic trainer's responsibility to carry their inhaler and make sure that they use it whenever they need to. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that it gave you an insight into what an athletic trainer carries with them. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below to stay up to date with my weekly uploads. I'm gonna be leaving the link to Mueller Sports down below in my description, so make sure you check them out. That is it for me, but always remember to stay hydrated.